Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name's Michael /PokeOz, of course. If you're new here, we talk all things Pokemon card investing. And if you're tuning back in, I really appreciate you guys and girls. It means a lot. The channel doesn't tick along without continued viewers that tune into each video that I post. So thank you so much. Today's video is a little bit different. We see so many videos talking about the top 5 cards that are going to absolutely boom and go to the moon. Best 5 sealed investments. Is this investment better than that investment? And look, to be fair, the YouTube Pokemon investing space, you know, it is oversaturated at the moment. There's so many videos from so many different content creators. There's new people that try and, I guess, you know, make their way into the space every day. And as a viewer, you need to be picky and choosy about what you listen to and who you choose to listen to and what information you take out of it. But there's not often we hear videos about what is the worst investment. And that's what this video is all about. I'm going to look through some of the worst investments across the years, but more importantly, we're going to talk about what is the worst sealed investment from Scarlet and Violet era. That's a pretty big question because so many videos, including ones done by myself, are really talking about what are the best investments from Scarlet and Violet era. We look at things like total set value, we look at chase cards, we look at top 5 hits, we look at print runs, and then we go, this is a good investment, this is a better investment, this is... But we don't often look at what is a bad investment. And before we answer the question, what is the worst investment, what is the worst place you could park your money in the whole Scarlet and Violet era, let's rewind back in time a little bit. Geez, it sounds like the start of a movie or something, doesn't it? Anyway, let's rewind back in time a little bit to Black and White era. Now, I just wanted to give a very quick shout out. I'm not going to roll the video, but a lot of these screen grabs are straight from the Collector app. If you're new to my content, you know that we've teamed up with Collector app. You can find me down in the content creators section on the app. You can also find a link to the app in the description of this video to download it. It's a fantastic app to store all your sealed and singles Pokemon card collection. Not much on that today. I don't want to go over it in detail every video, but every second video I definitely will, but always a mention and a shout out there. So let's rewind back in time to Black and White era. And Black and White era brought us something phenomenal. Phenomenally bad. The worst Pokemon card set ever created. Full stop, bar none. Thought Steam Siege was bad? Nope. Thought Rebel Trash was bad? Nope. This is the worst Pokemon card set ever made, and that is Emerging Powers. Sorry, Emerging Powers, I don't want to throw too much shade your way, but this is not a good Pokemon card set. And sometimes I wonder things like, you know, people are sitting around a desk and, you know, all the CGI images have been done and the artists have done their work and things are about to go into, you know, the print run and start getting printed off and there's test cycles being done and, you know, I just picture everyone sitting around a boardroom table and someone there with the, you know, the laser pointer on the projector going, yep, good set, yep, good card. This is going to send customers crazy. Who ticked off on Emerging Powers? Like, who was sitting around the boardroom and they all just shake hands and go, yep, fantastic set, phenomenal, great artwork, this is going to sell well? Surely no one. And if they did, they got it so horribly wrong. Sorry, Emerging Powers. The top chase card's like $13. What is it, Thundurus? And then Tornadus? 2 hyper rares or ultra rares or special rares or whatever they were called back in the Black and White era. And that was it. There was nothing else. And those 2 cards were not good looking at all. They were terrible cards. $13. The worst Pokemon card set ever made. But let's take into account, right, that say you bought that for $100 a booster box and you probably had no intention of keeping it sealed and it going up in value. I'm not saying no one invested in Pokemon cards back then because people still did. You know, there's always people ahead of the times and there was people still keeping stuff sealed thinking that it will go up in value. But for the most part, not many people were kept, certainly not to the volume that people are keeping products sealed today. And look, everything has different print runs. There was way less cards printed in black and white era, which is a pretty quiet era compared to what there is now. Like, that is just a massive no-brainer. We know those numbers. We don't know them explicitly, but we know there's a lot more Pokemon cards printed these days than what there were back then. What the percentage of English is, that's a whole nother topic for a whole nother video. But let's say you bought the worst Pokemon card set ever made for $100. Here's a sale on eBay, and look, it's best offer accepted from $3,400 US. We don't know exactly what offer was accepted. Maybe $1,800 was accepted. Maybe nearly half of what they were asking for was accepted. Even if $1,800 was accepted for that booster box, $100 to $1,800 is 18 times its value in 14 years. That's a pretty damn good investment for the worst Pokemon card set ever made. Now, I also had a little jab at Steam Siege. Let's say, and again, I'm just using round numbers. You could have got these cheaper than this, but let's say you bought it for $100 US. Steam Siege has been on a tear, an absolute tear. What a stellar set. Tongue in cheek there, but it's up to $854 US a booster box. And confirmed sales here from eBay. It's nudging $1,000 US for Steam Siege. Nearly 10x'd its money in how long's that set been out for? It was one of the final XY sets, so it must be 10 years old. Around 2015 did that come out, or 2016 was it? Maybe 2016 it came out. Either way, it's 9 or 10 years old, nearly 10x'd its money. Crimson Invasion, the worst Sun and Moon set. Again, let's say you bought it for $100. It's closing in on $500 US. The worst set. And let's say you bought the worst set from Sword and Shield, which is Darkness Ablaze, $100. And look, you might argue that, might say Rebel Clash is worse. Either way, it not only was a bad set, it was massively printed. We're in that middle of that sort of COVID hype era where things were really hard to get. Darkness Ablaze got multiple print waves, both in booster box and elite trainer box form, but the booster box is up to $233. So even a terrible set with one chase card, which got overprinted, so it was actually printed more than what the demand was for it, has still 2.3 times its value in the 4.5 years that it's been out. All of those examples prove to us, and I'm not picking and choosing the best investments or the best sets from each era, which has by far and away outperformed any of those that I chose, like compare Team Up to Crimson Invasion, compare Evolving Skies to Darkness Ablaze, compare Dragons Exalted or Plasma Storm to Emerging Powers, compare Phantom Forces or XY Flashfire to Steam Siege. You get my point. I have picked the worst booster boxes you could have invested in. So that begs the question, what is the worst set from Scarlet and Violet to invest in? And one of the numbers I like to work off is total set value. And I've talked about this a lot of times, but moreover than that, I think the chase cards have a lot to do with that total set value, particularly the top 10 and then the top 5 as well. So if we look at Scarlet and Violet here and we go for a bit of a run through, this is straight off, a lot of people ask me this, and I'm not affiliated with them in any way, shape or form, but the easiest way to find total set value, and you can thank me later, is to go to pokidata.io. Pokidata.io. And here it is up on the screen here. Again, I'm not affiliated or sponsored with them. It's just easy to figure out total set value. As we scroll through and we look at some of the worst sets, Stellar Crown has a $452 total set value. Now the other thing, all those sets that I mentioned, Emerging Powers, Steam Siege, Crimson Invasion, Darkness Ablaze, so the worst sets from their respective eras with the worst amount of growth and the lowest booster box price, all of them have the lowest total set value. So not only do we look at highest total set value for the best investments, when we look at lowest total set value, we see the worst performing booster boxes. So there's such a clear correlation between total set value and future booster box price, or in turn elite trainer box price as well if you'd prefer to invest in that. If you look at a set like Shrouded Fable, only $660 total set value, but still higher than Stellar Crown. Keep in mind Stellar Crown is a pretty small set compared to a lot of others. And then if we look at some other sets like, some of what are coined the mid Scarlet and Violet sets, like your Paradox Rifts for argument's sake, $894, so it's nudging $900 total set value. To give you an idea, like that's on par with a set like Silver Tempest in terms of total set value. What else have we got to give you an idea? Prismatic Evolutions. I mean, here's the outlier from Scarlet and Violet era, and I'm not saying this is a bad set, I'm just giving this as an example of total set value, $6,484 total set value. Insane. Not only do we have mega chase cards with some beautiful SIRs, we have Pokeball cards and Master Ball cards from main set cards to chase in there, adding for a massive total set value. It's just absolutely insane. Then if we fast forward to a set like base set, $565 total set value for Scarlet and Violet base. So when we ask ourselves, what is the worst Scarlet and Violet set as an investment? And I think the answer is pretty simple. It really is going to come down to booster box, total set value. Those two are going to be clearly aligned. So when we're investing in booster boxes and we're thinking, what's the worst? If we look at the numbers and history, it's going to have to be S&V base and Stellar Crown. Moreover than that, sometimes eras, and even if they're not a popular era, sometimes the base set of an era just has this funny way of being worth more than other sets in the era, even if it's got terrible total set value. And we can look at it across the board. And if we go all the way back to black and white base, again, has next to no chase cards in it, but is worth massive amounts of money as a booster box. XY base, same thing. Yeah, I think you've got a full art Blastoise and Venusaur maybe, a full art Xerneas or whatever it might. Again though, very, very low total set value, but because it's a base set booster box, it's held its price really strongly. Sun and Moon, not so much because it got reprinted so heavy. It got a very, very late heavy print run Sun and Moon base, particularly with some elite trainer boxes as well. But the booster box did too. Like all the way into like 2020, 2021, Sun and Moon booster boxes was base set was so readily available. Sword and Shield base, another example. Lower print run, but same thing. Not many chase cards, but look at the box price of Sword and Shield base. So if I were to choose the worst investment from Scarlet and Violet era so far, and I know this sounds harsh because it's got two beautiful top cards, which yes, are only worth about $40. Pull rates as well is going to come into play with this. Conversion rate to PSA 10 is going to come into this. There's so many things in play. It's not just total set value. But if we look at it on its merits, Stellar Crown looks like it's going to be the worst booster box investment from Scarlet and Violet era. It's got $450 total set value. The total set value, of course, is reliant on pull rates because the harder the card is to pull. If it's a chase card, generally the more it's going to be worth because it's rarer. We all know that, you know, getting that Squirtle and Bulbasaur isn't the hardest task in the world. It's certainly not as hard as getting an Umbreon or a Sunbreon, as some people like to call it, from Prismatic Evolutions. And then we probably could argue that something like, especially a holiday set, Shrouded Fable is going to be the worst holiday set to invest in. When you're coming up against the likes of Paldea Fates 151 and Prismatic Evolutions, you've got a pretty hard task ahead of you, don't you? Well, there's my predictions from Scarlet and Violet. I think from holiday sets, Shrouded Fable is going to be the worst investment, and I think from main sets, when it comes to booster boxes, I think Stellar Crown is going to be the worst investment. Please let me know in the comments down below if you agree. I'm Michael, this is PokeOz. Catch everyone next time.